Let us now call on our Transform President, Jensen Nino Baking, to introduce him.
Okay, good afternoon. Our next guest speaker coaches entrepreneurs to craft their big why, communicate their message, their influence, and build winning tribes. He serves in District 3300 Rotary, Rotaract Committee, and the Rotaract Trainers Committee. He chartered 2 award-winning Rotaract clubs for the past 7 years. For his presidential term in Rotaract Club of Bukit Bintang, he was named as the district's outstanding Rotaractor for Rotary Year 2019-2020. He has been featured on various media and publications such as Astro Awani, The Star, Scene True Daily, Malaysia Today, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you our next guest speaker, Mr. Terence Hugo Tan. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello, good evening. Is my audio audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and congratulations. Glad to finally join you in time. Of course, first and foremost, greetings to the transforming governor, Jess Sama, to the transforming DRR, John Carlo Malamak. And I think this is a very special occasion. And of course, I have to thank the chairperson for DISTAS 2020, Napoleon, if you are here. Thank you for the invitation. And good to see all 82 over here on the Sunday evening. You know, it's always a pleasure when we see Rotaractors that are so passionate gathering here. And I was told that my topic for today is in fact on a mental health project that we started during the pandemic of COVID-19. As you know, now is a very challenging times. And during the pandemic, we managed to even extend further our connections like never before. We are able to reach out to many of our friends across Southeast Asia. So what I'm going to share next, if I have the permission to share slides. All right. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. As you know, the pandemic hits us in many different ways. Businesses are shut, jobs are lost, people are worried about their health. But there is one section that is mostly overlooked, which is the mental health condition. And that's the reason why we started You Are Not Alone, or in short, we call it YANA. So I'm Hugo Tan from District 3300. And just like District 3790, there are a lot of pandemic response in terms of getting food to those in need, making sure they have face masks. I'm sure many of the clubs here that are watching this, you too did the same. And then we realize we take care of their food, we make sure they are able to survive this, they have nutrition, they have face masks, they know the right place to get screening. But what about their mental health? So in the upcoming presentation, if you have anything that you would like to comment or that you would like to share, please feel free to share it in the chat room. Yeah, give us a thumbs up whenever you hear something that you can resonate with, just so that other of your friends over here that are watching here know that they too are not alone in facing this. Are we good to go? If you are good to go, perhaps you can have a try of a thumbs up. All right, there you go, Radha. There you go, I see you. Okay, let's start. So here's the thing. Personally, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. but I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. However, this is the craziest thing, right? Most of the time, the people that I consult with are business people, entrepreneurs, salespeople. You would expect them to have problems in terms of what is the marketing strategy? Like, how do I communicate with people properly? How do I do public speaking? How do I close deals? These are the things that we expect an entrepreneur, a salesperson, an influencer to be asking about. But you know what is the craziest discovery that we had? Is that most of the problems are people problems. They are not exactly a problem of technique. It's not that they do not know the strategy. It's not that they have not gone through courses. It's not that they don't have a degree. It's not that they don't know what to do. You know what is the hardest thing? The hardest thing is they do not know how to deal with people around them. And if you are listening to this, you know, right now I'm looking at my slides. I can't see every one of your face. But I'm sure you have undergone certain situations where you are leading a club, just like Road Track over here. And you want to do something, but you don't know how to convince another person to do it. And sometimes when you present your ideas, people just shoot it down. Sometimes people criticize you. Sometimes you are basically being socially outcast. You don't know who to speak to or who can give you answers. And this is the same crazy thing that we realize. Many of our personal problems, you know, there is this saying that we say, right? You do not have a relationship problem. You do not have a financial problem. You do not have a business problem. You know what problem people usually have? They have a personal mental health problem that is reflected in their business, in their relationship, in their financial. And people have not paid enough attention to their mental wellness. They will buy vitamins, they would go jogging, they will go to gym, they will post nicely on Instagram, but they have neglected their mental wellness. So I would like to have this story just to see what is what would you do in such situation? So, all 82, are you ready? All right, yes, I can see it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go. Okay, so say if you receive a 3 a.m. call. And this is what your friends say, right? Your friends say this: I don't want to live anymore. My boyfriend or girlfriend of 5 years say it is over. I don't know what to do. You know, I tell my parents, but my parents say I deserve it. They say they already told me so. So my question for you is, if you receive such a call, you know, if someone call you at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., there is rarely any good news, right? It's usually bad news, you know. It's either an accident, or they are trying to cry, or they can't sleep because of a problem. So this 3 to 4 a.m. call is a crazy one, right? It's a crazy one. So what would you do in this situation? So let us analyze what your friend have just said, right? They say they don't want to leave. So, and there's a breakup. So this is a relationship issue. He or she don't know what to do. So they do not have the right support or perhaps knowledge of what to do and who to call. My parents say I deserve it. The person closest to your friend is not giving them the emotional and mental support they need. They even say they have already told your friend so. So if this is you, what would you do? This is the question. Your friend is waiting. You're on the call. And your friend needs solutions. You see, I've asked similar questions to other crowd, right? Here's the answers. Let's see if it's the same answers as yours, right? They will tell her that it's going to be okay. They will tell her to think positive. They will tell her that there are a lot more guys or girls out there for you. They will tell you that you should probably get some sleep right now. After sleeping, you will be okay. Have you heard someone say similar things to you? If yes, do give me a thumbs up so that I know you are here. Do you ever have a friend that tells you to think positive when you have a problem, that tells you to stay calm, that tells you it's going to be over, that tells you to just go to sleep? If yes, give us a thumbs up so that we know that this is something that is very normal for many of you. Now, here's a crazy thing, right? We hear all these kind of responses all the time. But let me ask you something. Does it work? It doesn't matter whether it is well-intentioned. The question is, does it work? Does it help? Or does it harm the person? Let's think about this. When someone is in a negative state of mind and you tell him or her to be positive, do you think that just because you tell him or her to be positive, suddenly she will be positive? Of course not. Have you ever seen someone who is angry, or perhaps yourself is angry? Have you ever been angry? And then your friend tells you to chill, tells you to be calm, to calm down. Where in history of the world, when you tell someone to calm down, that the person calm down? It never happened. But yet, these are the answers that we always give. And we never realize that maybe it is not working. Now, if you're listening to me right now, what you are hearing is the beginning, the symptoms of our problems, big problems that is affecting you and me. And people has been neglecting it. You know, the worst part about having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't. Do you know which movie is this from? I'm not sure, is this a last year movie or this year movie? Jesse, thanks for the thumbs up. Yeah, it's easier to read it in the chat than seeing on the cam. Open cam, improve ambience. Definitely, Jensen. Okay, this is actually from the Joker movie, right? From the Joker movie. The worst part of having, yes, definitely. PPMC Massant. I hope I pronounced your name right, my friend. From the Joker movie. And if anything, there are more and more movies that highlight mental wellness, mental health, mental illness. You know, I have friends in the Philippines who are watching a drama, a K-drama. It's called It Is Okay to Not Be Okay. And of course, Joker, you know, who would not know the Joker movie, right? Oscar-winning movie. And this is the part, right? If you just look at this quote, what do you think you understand? You know, the hardest part about having a challenge is people expect you to behave as if you don't. You are stressed, people tell you don't be stressed. You are angry, people tell you don't be angry. Just keep calm. When you have break up, people tell you it's going to be over. It's okay. You know what? It just doesn't solve the problem. And the person who is listening to it does not feel comforted. In fact, if anything, they feel like as if the people around them do not understand them nor listen to them. Now, here's the thing, right? What would actually happen to her? PP Can, yeah, good to see you here. Let us flash back a bit, right? Let's flash back a bit. What will you do? Some of the proper suggested response would be to check if she's under any influence of drugs or alcohol, to contact her nearest friends and families, or to even call the emergency hotline if you feel like she's going to take her life. If you feel like it's not that serious, you just need someone to talk to, it would probably help for you to just sit there and listen. But here's a question, right? In many countries, suicide is one of the leading cause of death among young people. When I'm talking about young people, is you and me. Of course, there is different definition of what is young. You know, some countries would term it like under 30, under 35. Yeah, I wonder what is the age in Philippines for someone to be called a youth. But here's the thing. In some countries in Southeast Asia, suicide is in fact the second leading cause of death among youth. Second. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? You will assume that if someone is going to take his or her own life, it means that they are already in a bad situation, right? Maybe they have a relationship or financial issue, or have a work in being bullied in school or in workplace, right? They are already in a hard situation. But let's look at what would happen if someone takes their life in Southeast Asia. In some countries, you all can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the feedback. Helps me to let me know that you are here. There are some countries in Southeast Asia that if you attempted suicide and you don't die, just think about this, right? You are already in a bad situation. That's why you try to kill yourself. But if you kill yourself and you don't die, this is what would happen to you. As you can read the title, the disabled man is jailed for attempted suicide. Well, you might be thinking that, well, this is a Malaysia thing, you know? It doesn't happen in other countries. Not true. Not true. The same law is in UK, the same law is in India, the same law is in Singapore, the same law is in Malaysia. So on top of all your personal problem, the government actually wants to put you in jail for trying to kill yourself. Now, UK has repealed the law. India has reformed the law. Singapore have just ended this law, this ancient law, earlier this year. But Malaysia, yet to. Which means that during this pandemic, a lot of people cannot withstand the kind of stress. It's so overwhelming. And they try to take their own life. And if you are watching this and you have such a thought, I would like to advise you, DM me, I can put you in touch of some experts, give you some proper help. Here's the thing, not too far from where I'm living right now, right here, not too far away. There is this guy who attempted suicide. You know what happened to him? The government fined him like 3,000 ringgit, and he has to stay in jail for a couple of months. So now there comes another issue. People thought that mental health is something like, be positive kind of movement, and then they post some quote on Instagram and then, yeah, I done my job in mental health. But the reason why we started Project YANA, Project You Are Not Alone, is to help people realize this problem is much bigger than what we thought. Let us get back to here. So what can we learn? Again, another quote from Joker, right? I hope my death makes more sense than my life. And a lot of people out there are feeling it, especially those natives or the lower income bracket of the population, when they are being put out of work during this pandemic for a very long time. In fact, in many countries in Southeast Asia, we are still under quarantine or movement control or lockdown of some kind. Lower income population, foreign workers, businesses, they're out of job, they can't pay their bills, they can't feed their children. You know, and that's why I'm so proud to see the Rotaractors and the Rotarians stepping up to help, because we call ourselves people of action. So it's exactly in times of need like this. That's why our team is Rotary Opens Opportunities, right? For this Transform Year. Indeed, this is an opportunity for us to step up, for us to become people of action. So what can we learn from this? We learn three things. Number one, we need to have proper mental health education. Let me ask you something. Have you ever learned in your school what to do when you are angry? What to do when you're sad? What to do when someone, like what I just showed you, right? If your friend call you and trying to take his or her own life, does the school teach you what to do with it? Does the school teach you how to deal with bullies? Or do they just say, man up, be tough? Don't respond to them, they will keep quiet. Is that what you are being taught? If yes, there is a need for better mental health education. Because what we are learning right now is pure, inadequate, and in some extent, purely nonsense. And this is the situation we are facing, because children that do not know how to solve their emotional and mental problems when they are 15, all the way when they grow up to be 35, 45, and they have children. You know, they have children. They become teachers. They become people of authorities. And do you think they know how to solve mental health issues or help their children or their students or their colleagues? They have never learned. They've never learned in school. They don't have a mentor. They don't have an expert to share with them the best practices that science can afford us today. Number two, the need to normalize mental health conversations. You know what that means? It means that people are scared to speak up that they have mental health conversations. You know, they are scared to speak up. For example,
Yes.
Some in our communities, they are depressed. They don't dare to tell their friends because they fear their friends might laugh at them, think they are weak. They fear to tell their parents because their parents will just ignore them. Personally, when I was younger, you know, up until now to a certain extent, I'm suffering from something called OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. And depending on the seriousness of OCD, I don't know if anyone here has OCD as well. If yes, you know, give me a thumbs up or share in the comment, you know, so that I can give you a high five later. You know, my case is, you know, the last serious symptom would be that sometimes, you know, when I'm washing my hands, you know, I can't just stop washing my hands, you know. I just keep washing and washing, cleaning, soap and water, just can't stop. I feel as if something is bad or not right if I stop doing it. So this is the crazy thing about OCD. I even broke a few water tap because of it, you know. But when I was younger, no one told me this is called OCD. No one told me that I can seek help. I don't even know what is the name, you know, up until I'm an adult. So number three, there is a need for multifaceted approach to tackle mental health. Mental health is not simply an Instagram quote thing to settle. We are talking not just about the education, we also need to rope in our lawmakers. We also need to rope in psychologists, guidance counselors, hotlines, help desks. We need people to come together to tackle this. Okay, let's move on. I hope so far you are learning something. If yes, yeah, put a thumbs up, right? Put a thumbs up. All right. Okay. Yeah, I see you there. I see you there. Edmund, Christy. Okay. So there is another quote over here. I don't quite think you can guess which movie is this. No, but we all feel like this sometimes, right? You know, and sometimes you feel so lost, so sad that you just feel like you just want to sleep for 1,000 years, right? You wake up, you sleep again. It's morning, you sleep. At night, you sleep again. You just don't want to wake up. So day 4, according to foreign policy, a news media, mental health is the next pandemic crisis. That's the reason why we started Project YANA. Allow me to introduce this project. You Are Not Alone, Southeast Asia Mental Health Initiative. We started this back in April. So right now is like September. It has been 5 months. And I'm happy to share with you some of our little progress that we try to do, that we can do during this lockdown. And so let's see if this is something that you might be passionate about. If yes, I'm more than happy to hear from you. You can definitely DM me on Facebook. We can talk further. Let's see how you too can do something for your community. Okay, let's move on. So these are some of our team members that we have gathered across various Southeast Asian nations. We have Ravi from Malaysia, Amina from Philippines, Melissa, a global Asian model, Charlene, Andrea, Jarek, Haimi of Ayudahan, Alice from Vietnam. So these are some of the team members that have joined us, for this cause, because they realize that their communities need the same. So every one of us knows Trident, right? The trident that is being held by the god Poseidon, the god of the seas, right? So these are the 3 things that we focus on, is establishing a listening project where we connect listeners, especially youth, to professionals, and sometimes to their peers if they feel like they need someone of their age to speak to. We are also working on online education and also grassroots outreach. So let's go on. So these are some of the, give you some samples of our different live stream and workshops that we have done throughout the pandemic. From the comfort of our home that we reach out to Southeast Asia audience. Probably we have reached in the, probably tens of thousands now. I probably need to count back how many. We are launching a new website coming very soon at youarenotalone.asia. So we have talked about mental health, we have talked about stress, we have talked about social healing, the situation in the grassroots right now, right? Because, if there is another issue in Southeast Asia beside mental health, it would be the internet coverage. It's so slow, right? If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up, man. Give me a thumbs up. So the internet coverage and connection is really bad. And we are pushing for online education where many people do not have the tools or the access. So we are doing a lot of grassroots activities as well. And we have also spoken to, for example, reason one would be with Dr. Nagwit and also Madam Sheila from Ateneo, the Zamboanga University. So we have spoken to different people, activists, guidance counselors, psychologists. And this is what we hope to do, right? Not just online, but we are going to do roadshows very soon in a couple of countries where the COVID situation is under control. We're also looking to create an online learning platform, with different subsections of how to deal with stress, with anger, with grief, with jealousy, with depression, with anxiety, so that we have all of this categorized properly. So it's a free online resource that you can access and learn, and connect to other people. So stay tuned, more is to come. So here's the thing, right? There are a lot of times, when we are talking about mental health and people felt like when someone is sad or they are disheartened, we tell them, some other people have it worse. Yeah, let me read this out, right? Let us read along. I think if I ever have kids and they are upset, I won't tell them that people are starving in China or anything like that, because it wouldn't change the fact that they were upset. And even if somebody else has it much worse, that doesn't really change the fact that you have what you have. If you resonate with this, once again, I would like to urge you, show us a thumbs up so that we know that you are not alone. And here's the thing, right? There's a need for people to cultivate higher empathy. There's a need for people to understand that different people have different coping ability and different coping mechanism. Have you ever heard of this quote, right? Be kind, because everyone is fighting a battle that we know nothing about. And if there is one thing that I hope you can take away from this presentation, is the need to be more kind, to have more empathy towards the people around us. We have no idea what they are suffering. Because just like Joker, they just put on a smile and they laugh their way, but they suffer at night in silence. One of our efforts to normalize conversations surrounding mental health is to collect stories. And that's the reason why I mentioned earlier, if you have a story to tell and you feel like this is the time to come out, feel free to forward me your story or my team. We will be gladly featuring it, because we want to hear. You know why people are scared to speak up? Because no one speaks up. We have this herd mentality. It is only okay if a lot of people are doing it. Road Track Club of Villa, RCVB. Yes, Jensen, like a clown. The smile is just painted on. Nice, except from the story, the clown. Nice. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, my friend. The smile is just painted on. Very true. In fact, the Japanese believe that we humans wear 3 masks, right? A mask that we show other people, a mask that we would like to see ourselves as, and also the mask, the one that we truly are. So don't be so quick to judge people sometimes, because we don't really know who they really are. If you come to think of it, many people don't even know who we really are, right? So all these stories here, we have a collection of stories, of different stories of stress, of seeing their friend having suicide, of depression, of the challenges being an introvert, or even we have received some LGBT story, a lot of it. The more people speak about this as if it is normal, it becomes normal. I hope one day, when people speak of cough, fever, and flu, they just speak as if it's not a big deal, And then they will say like, okay, I will go to the clinic, find a doctor, get a medical cert, I can skip school. But it's not quite the same with mental health, isn't it? If you tell your boss you have immense stress, do you think they will give you a day off? Maybe they think you are giving an excuse. If you say you have depression, do you think your first mental response would be, oh, I need to find help. I need to find a counselor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. People's first response is not that. And that's the problem. They keep it in instead of seeking help. All right, let's go. Well, I hope this whole presentation, we are not trying to impress on you on how heavy this subject is, but we are trying to impress upon you how important this subject is. Well, I have another movie quote for you. We didn't talk about anything heavy or light. We were just there together, and that was enough. Wilson, congratulations, Transform Presidents and DRR Color M. Yes, indeed, congratulations. It's been quite an event. I've seen your itinerary. Wow, we even have background music now, aren't we?
It's been a pleasure, sir, to have you in our district assembly.
This is the first time I talk about mental health, and there is a background song to accompany it. Well, I don't know who you are, my friend. Thank you for the song. And now we can go on, right? So here are some of the things, right? Remember the mental health law, So these are the things that we have started actually during maybe like 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago, our first meeting during July, where we are trying to reform the mental health law, right? Of course, this is in Malaysia, and I'm aware that in Philippines we have a mental health law or act reform. I think probably much earlier this year or last year as well. In the Philippines, and this is what we are trying to do in Malaysia. We have gathered different experts, journalists, academic, psychologists, counselors, lawmakers, coming together to reform the law, right? To decriminalize suicide. It's a tragedy. It is not a crime. These are among some of the things that we are looking at. And if you look at this gentleman in the blue shirt, on the bottom left, right? He has actually started a company called Naluri. So basically, it's digital therapeutics, where by having an app and also some of the products, for example, a band, you can keep track of your health situation, right? Your stress level, your health situation, your overall, and this app can give you one-stop access to psychologists, to counselors, and you can text them. It's much more convenient this way, and they can observe your progress. If you have any need, they will intervene. So this is some of the progress that we are working on ground. You see, a lot of times when we talk about mental health is a lot of people, they just are wondering, just tell me how to be different in a way that makes sense. Because we have been growing up without anyone teaching us how to fit into the society. And when we stand out, people call us to step down, But humans are unique creatures. They are complex creatures. You have different passions, you have different thoughts, you have different opinions, you have different lifestyles. And that's the reason why it's very hard when the society tells us to live one way and only one way. And ourselves, the small kid that never learned how to manage our mental and emotional state, right from our kindergarten level till adulthood, have no idea how to cope with such situations. They don't know how to cope with fear, with rejections, with trauma, with addiction to smoking, to drugs. They have no idea how to cope with that. And that's the reason why you have stress, right? You have stress because you do not know how to cope. Let's go on. Of course, a lot of different mental health services, should be made known. There are different hotlines, mental health clinics. There should be guidance units in school and workplaces, peer counselors program, more affordable psychological support. People believe that it's expensive, and in some places it's really expensive. And mindfulness and wellness activities as well. And here's the thing, right? I give you like 10 seconds, right? Just read this quote over here. Now, what is being said over here is, you know, in this situation, there's a dialogue, you know, it's very hard to tell between doctors and patients, you know. And this person joked that, oh, I can tell the patients get well. The lesson we can learn here is people that we believe are strong, are experts, sometimes they are vulnerable too. Sometimes in our friend circle, the one that always give advices are the one has the biggest problems, right? Or perhaps like what Jensen said, the smile is just painted on. Sometimes those who smile the brightest are those that are secretly the most depressed. And sometimes those that you feel as if they are socially capable, they are social butterflies, they have a lot of friends. You will be surprised to know they are in a worse mental health condition than you. You know why? Because they spend all their time trying to please other people, that they have not taken care of themselves. Let's go on. So the conclusion that we have for today is mental health is health. You know, mental health is health. There is no question about this. We should have taken it as seriously as any fever, as any cough, as any disease that we have. You know, COVID-19 affected possibly a very small percentage of the worldwide population. And yet, we've given them the ultimate response. However, for something that has been so invisible, that has been so prolonged since the beginning, and we give them no thought, mental health. Please believe that things are good with me, and even when they're not, they will be soon enough, and I always believe the same about you. So before we come to an end, I would like to give away an ebook for those of you who are here. Thank you for spending time, you know, in a Sunday evening to listen to many of different, you know, inspirational speeches by different Rotaractors, and even the MDIO chair is here. So I would like to give away this free ebook to all of you. I will give you the link and you can get them. And if you like to connect with me, or if you are doing something similar, you have new ideas that you think we should be doing, you know, you can always connect with me on Facebook, and do find us on our new Facebook page as well. I post it, all of it in the chat room, right? So you can get this. This author, Dale Carnegie, is not a psychologist, you know, but this is one of the authors that Warren Buffett himself read, you know, a course he attended to overcome his fear of public speaking. So I'd like to share this book with you, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Most welcome, PP Ken. Glad to have you here too. So let us continue. So in 6 p.m., which, what time is it now? In about 1.5 hours from now, we're actually going to tune in and watch a sharing by one of our latest story submission. He's actually from Singapore. I've never met this person in real life. As far as I know, she is some sort of social media influencer, and possibly some actress or someone in the entertainment industry. What I want to say is that he doesn't have a face. She has been quiet for 2 months, and suddenly she has this story to share, and we help her to feature it. When you look at someone like her with so many followers on Instagram, on Facebook, with I'm sure she has her own followers and popularity. She's young, she's not even 21. She has a lot of things going for her. She probably have a decent family, different friends, but you have no idea what she has suffered. Let me share with you a bit. On July 2nd, 2020, which is, how long is that ago? 2 months ago, she attempted suicide by overdose. She was found close to 14 hours later, but then, you know what? The hospital has nothing to pump out of her stomach because everything was already in her bloodstream. It's just a question of whether she can wake up, right? So luckily, she was not in a coma. She was an 18-year-old student. And because of this, she lost 7 years of her memory. Overdose, attempted suicide, didn't end up in coma, but lost 7 years of her memory. What she wants and hope we can share with you over here in this presentation is this. She says, depression does not have a face. You wouldn't be able to tell if I just post this photo. And some of you might be thinking that, okay, this might be some YouTuber, trying to get some views, But here's what you do not know, right? She is actually clinically diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. You have heard about PTSD, those in the military, they come back, they have PTSD. She is also clinically diagnosed with depression, anxiety symptoms, ADHD, and ADD. If I just show you this picture and I tell her the background, you would not have guessed this is what she's suffering from. But here's what I want to say, it doesn't have a face. So take care of your friends and family around you. Lee Harvey, most welcome. Most welcome. Glad to have you here. Danica, most welcome as well. PDRR, Xian, yes, glad to have you here. Jolan's Granil, thank you for the link. Most welcome. Most welcome. Keep in touch on Facebook. I think for most people, sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's beautiful, but most of the time, life is both. And I hope to stay connected with you, whether you're on Instagram. Some Southeast Asia countries are big on Instagram, like Indonesia, Singapore. Some countries are more big in Facebook. I think possibly Philippines, Myanmar, they're big on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Drop me a message. Let us know, what you think about today's presentation. If you have a story to share, or if you have some feedback or some things that you learn, what is it that hits you the hardest during this presentation? If you feel strongly, I look forward to hear from you. You can also follow our page, YANA, on Facebook as well. With this, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for the chairperson, for the invitation. And thank you to all of you, all of you youth leaders, district leaders, club leaders. It has been a very fruitful evening. And I'm glad to have this platform to share this message with you. So take care of yourself, take care of your friends, take care of your family. This is Hugo here. Take care.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
So, I hope we learned a lot from Mr. Hugo Tan, so that I hope we all take care of our mental health, just like what Mr. Tan mentioned a while ago. And here, as a symbol of our gratitude to Mr. Terence Hugo Tan, let me call on Mr. Jensen Baking to present this certificate of appreciation.
Okay, allow me to read the citation. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Terence Hugo Tan for sharing his time and expertise as a resource speaker in the District Training Assembly 2020, titled Every Challenge Brings You Closer to Your Goal, held on September 6, 2020, given this 6th day of September 2020. Signed, Napoleon Cabahug Jr., Deputy Rotaract Chair, DISTAS 2020 Chair. Yours truly, Jensen Nino Baking, President of the Rotaract Club of Villa de Bacolor. John Carlo Malamug, District Rotaract Representative, District 3790, 2020-2021, and Jesus Jest Sama, District Governor, District 3790, 2020-2021. Thank you, sir. May I request everyone to please turn their cameras on for the picture taking. Um, I'm going to take pictures of us. Please turn your cameras on. All right. So